Hello, everyone. Welcome to 49ers After Dark. We're your hosts, Grant Cohn. I'm Grant. That's Jessie Naylor. I'm at Levi's Stadium. They had a late practice today. Jesse's in Tampa. That's why it's called, well, no, it's just called 49ers After Dark because it's nighttime now. So anyway, how you doing, Jesse? Good to see you.
I'm doing good, man. It's really good to see you too.
Yeah, so we need to talk about Belichick and Kyle. To me, Kyle Shanahan, although he's Mike Shanahan's son, he aspires to be Bill Belichick. I guess his dad isn't quite Bill. So he sees Bill as the end-all, be-all. I think he tries to talk like him, thinks he tries to coach like him. But they've taken quite different approaches to the quarterback position this offseason. Do you think that Belichick is coaching circles around Shanahan at this moment?
I do. I think right now Belichick is showing why he is a veteran, why he is a great coach. And just looking at the way that he played this Mac Jones situation, I know that there's a lot of talk about, Cam's not vaccinated. Maybe that played into it. I really don't think it played into anything. I think what they looked at was Cam and Mac, at the very least, are even. And with that being said, you do not want a veteran looking over the shoulder of your rookie. The last thing you can afford to do is exactly what Miami did last year. They handled that situation about as wrong as you possibly could. And they don't want any possibility that the fans start chanting for Cam when Mac's playing bad or what have you. And I think the way that they've played out this whole situation is perfect. And then the opposite, looking at what San Francisco's done, I know, I get it. Jimmy's a veteran, all these other things. You can win with Jimmy. I understand all of those things. But Lance is good enough to play now. And you can't sell me that he's not. And pushing his progression back, even if it's 6 games, 8 games, whatever it ends up being, I think is a mistake long term. And coaches want to win now. That's what Shanahan's play is. He's worried about winning now more than he's worried about winning in the future. But what he's doing is stunting the growth of his primetime quarterback, which is Trey Lance.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, let me just give Shanahan some, not credit, but some context. He's in a tougher situation than Bill in the sense that it's not hard to cut Cam Newton.
No.
He's never accomplished anything with the Patriots. It's not like they ran Tom Brady out of town for Mac Jones. That would be different. That would be more comparable. It's not that Jimmy Garoppolo is Tom Brady, but around the 49ers, he's like the closest thing they have to it because they were freaking losers for years until he got here. So I just feel like Kyle's in a tougher spot where he couldn't necessarily do that. Still, the fact that Kyle traded up for a quarterback that he doesn't think is ready, while Bill Belichick stood pat and let the market come to him and got exactly what he wanted. I'm not saying we're going to talk about whether the Niners made the right pick at number 3 in a minute, but you got to give Belichick credit for accurately assessing the market, letting it come to him. Everything he's done this offseason has worked out in his favor, as opposed to Kyle, who we have some questions for right now. And not just because of the decisions he's made, but how he's sort of handled things since he made the decision. So, yeah, I would have to say that Belichick coaches circles around everyone. But, yeah, he is, absolutely. And it's a good contrast.
I would say this, too, and I know that there's, hey, we can't play Trey until he's ready, until he can read defenses. Mahomes won an MVP in 2018. He said it wasn't until mid-2019 that he knew how to read a defense. Brett Favre went from the Falcons to the Packers, made 2 Pro Bowls before he learned what a nickel defense and a dime defense was, right? So you can't tell me that you have to be perfect to win in this league. Trey Lance, especially with Shanahan's backing, can win in this league. And Jimmy Garoppolo, one of the big praises that's heaped upon him is he's so good on third down. Do you know that Nick Mullins is number 4 and Beathard is number 8 from 2018 to 2020 in converting third down and longs? Why is that? That's because Shanahan is the one that's calling these plays. He can put Trey in a really good position and allow him to succeed while he's going through these struggles.
I talked about this morning, but I really believe this is what's going on. I'm going to do a quality control where I just go one-on-one with Jed and we talk about this in a couple of days. But I think it's really serious what's going on right now, and I'm a little concerned about Kyle. I mean, it's been reported by all the major people, all the most connected people, that his first choice was Mac. And he also liked Trey, but his first choice was Mac. And the rest of the organization preferred Trey, as they freaking should have. Are you kidding me?
Right.
But he likes Mac. And so he relents because the fans revolt and the entire organization is in lockstep that Lance is the pick, and he goes along with it. But that's not how, I mean, the Shanahans stick to their guns, okay? So they relented, but they still want to prove that they're right. And I say they, meaning they. It's a corporation like the Mannings and the Boses. They want to prove that they're right. And to me, putting Trey in a situation where he could start week 1 or he could compete for the job would have only proven them wrong. So what they did was they never let him compete for the job. I mean, they said that they even said it wasn't a competition. He got very few throws with the first team. He got hurt playing with the second team, which we all saw coming. I mean, it seemed to me like he was that Kyle was more concerned with being right than with pivoting and getting it right with Trey Lance, which is one of my issues with Kyle. But there's still time. There's still time. I mean, maybe he wanted to prove this point in preseason and then let the quarterback competition take place when the season starts. My only question is Trey going to play week 1? Man, I mean, they're not going to tell us one way or another, but broken finger, it could linger. I asked Kyle Shanahan today, is this the kind of thing that you're confident will be a non-issue next week, or could it linger? He says, just don't know. So already they're in a – because, look, you know, the reason you got Trey Lance is because you don't want Jimmy Garoppolo being your full-time quarterback. And now he is, if this is a serious injury. So they did a good job keeping people healthy, but this is serious. So, yeah, he's coaching circles around Shanahan. Shanahan hasn't made a decision. Belichick made a decision.
Absolutely. And he's firm in that decision. And, you know, the other thing, too, is I think the Patriots have winning aspirations as well. You can't tell me that organization doesn't think that they can win this year. They spent a ton of money in the offseason. I know that they're not as win now probably as the 49ers, at least not in our eyes, but in their eyes, they certainly are. So this is hey, we can win now, but also build for the future at the same time. And that's what the 49ers could have done as well.
Also, I think the Patriots are the perfect team for Mac Jones because the Patriots aren't an explosive offense. They're a what's the word? Deliberate, slow, ball control. That's what they do. And he's a great fit for that. I don't know if they would have taken him over Trey Lance, but their attitude was, we know where this market is. At 15, we'll get someone good. And the Bears knew the market. The Patriots knew the market. The Niners traded up a month before the draft, which is highly unusual. And I love Trey Lance. Maybe ultimately he will end up being worth the number 1 pick in this draft. But I wonder where he would have went if the Niners hadn't taken him at 3. And I wonder if the Niners just misread this market entirely, which is nothing against Trey Lance. It's just if he didn't go 3, he wasn't going to go 4. He wasn't going to go 5. I don't know. So the Niners made a very, very drastic, desperate move. They got Trey Lance, who I love, but you got to question the process a little bit here. Like, what were you guys really trying to do? And did you do what you wanted to do?
Yeah. That, you know, and that's the thing. I mean, I think that's something that we're probably, I won't say never going to know, but it'll have to come out way later what actually happened, right? Like after 20, 30 years down the road, we're not really going to know until then. And, you know, I heard
my prediction. Yeah, if it works out with Trey Lance, Kyle Shanahan will stick to his guns that this was his guy and he developed him. If it doesn't work out with Trey Lance, in 2 to 3 years, we're going to hear some report making it official. Yeah, I like Mac Jones better because he's done that before. When they took Johnny Manziel, he was a good soldier for like 6 months, and he was like, "Yeah, I prefer Jimmy Garoppolo and Derek Carr, no question about it." I'm telling you,
it's
Kyle. Because here's the thing about Kyle and his dad: like, they are lifers in the NFL, and they're loyal to themselves, not a team. I mean, they're all Kyle's been on 4 or 5 teams already, and this isn't going to be his last team, or it might not be. And so ultimately they're loyal to their own brand over the 49ers brand, which I have a freaking problem with. But as long as Kyle is he works this out with Trey, he'll be fine. Because if he doesn't work it out with Trey, God, there's a lot of coaches who are going to be in line. I'm just saying, like everyone says, oh, just wait until Brian Daboll goes to Chicago and takes over there. Hey, man, if I'm Jed York and Kyle's messing around and he's trying to like tell me that we should have taken Mac Jones, I'm looking at Daboll right now, because that guy has the track record of developing quarterbacks, and that's a skill. I don't just giving a guy a system and a run game isn't necessarily developing a young quarterback. There's a lot of psychological handholding that has to go into it, and some people are good at it, and I'm not saying Kyle isn't, but he hasn't done it yet.
Kyle hasn't proven he's good at it.
Right.
It's not like Jimmy's progressed. It's not like Beathard progressed. It's not like Mullins really progressed. So, yeah, there is
Rosen was awful, and then he goes to Atlanta for a week, and all of a sudden he's good again, or at least functional. Right. That's bad, Kyle. Because you have a great system. Like, they should be all flourishing under you. So what is it about you? Are you negative? What is it about you? It's not your offense. It's not your playbook. Man, it's you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, it's interesting, right? Because you can flourish statistically in this offense, but not grow. And those are two very different things. And he's not, at least he hasn't proven that he can grow these players as individuals, grow their confidence, and make them better long-term. He can make anybody work in his system. It's that good. He's that good of a play caller and a play designer. But that does not mean that you're a great leader. And that's what I have to see answered. And I'm curious to see what happens with Trey Lance's development long-term.
The most success he's ever had was with 31-year-old Matt Ryan, who was already a multi-Pro Bowler, had been there multiple times. He didn't need development. He needed a system that was good, and he got it. It was a good marriage. But that's not all that Trey Lance needs. Trey Lance needs psychological handholding and development, just like Jimmy Garoppolo needed it, and Jimmy never got it. And I don't think we really, I guess we were just like, well, you got $90 million, so that should be good enough. But honestly, it wasn't. And I hate to think that Jimmy could go somewhere and have a coach like Bieniemy, Daboll, Arthur Smith, people who specialize in pumping quarterbacks up, and that he would actually have a good career.
Right.
Just look at CJ.
Yeah.
Look at freaking CJ. What is that?
Yeah.
Kyle, you got to be scared about that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it does. And, it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out long term. It's certainly something to keep an eye on.
It's going to make or break Kyle Shanahan's career. Absolutely. He's definitely equipped to get this right, but let's see if he does.
He makes running backs better.
Certainly.
Like that's where his specialty is. He's a run game guy. That's his specialty. And it's so robust.
It's true.
But quarterbacks, we haven't seen it yet.
Well, we never talk about position coaches on this show, but they're very freaking important. And one of the reasons the Niners are good at developing running backs is they have the best running back coach in the league, Bobby Turner. He's been doing this since the mid-90s when he made Terrell Davis a freaking Hall of Famer. So that helps. And they have a great tight end coach, John Embry. Great defensive line coach. These guys get results. Who the hell is Rich Scangarello? All due respect. Dude, he's not one of the 32 best quarterback coaches in the league. He's beneath the Shanahans. And his dad had Gary freaking Kubiak. I mean, he had you need a great quarterback coach in the NFL. And I can't believe that a connected offensive guru like Kyle doesn't have one. He went from Scangarello to Shane Day back to Scangarello. Dude, no one wants Scangarello.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Charlie says, can you compare and contrast how Saleh is handling his rookie quarterback versus how Kyle is handling his rookie quarterback? Yeah, I mean, it's just, again.
You're good. Different situations, right? Because Zach Wilson, there's nobody there to compete with him. That's one. But two, you notice what they did with Zach Wilson, right? All the reports came out that Zach Wilson looked really, really bad in camp. And why was that? That's because Saleh was going out there and rotating coverages on him, putting him in tough situations. Yeah. So that way, when he actually got out there for game day, he looked good. And he looked very good on game day.
Yeah. Also, he's more advanced from the pocket than Trey Lance. He played last year. That matters. Trey Lance didn't play last year. He has less throws. He's more advanced from the pocket. Also, another thing, none of these quarterbacks are allowed to do the zone read in preseason. That's a big deal. It's a huge play, and it's a huge part of Trey Lance's game, and he's going to be way better at that than Zach Wilson, who you're going to do with a little bit, but not much because he'll get hurt. Trey Lance will hurt people.
Yeah, seriously.
Like he's like Josh Allen. He's going to hurt people when he runs. I mean, it's just a total. Plus, it's year 1 for Saleh. It's year 5 for Shanahan. There's no Jimmy Garoppolo over there. There is Jimmy Garoppolo over here. So Saleh's in a much easier situation. He probably picked the right quarterback. But I got to say that Trey Lance has way higher upside than Zach Wilson. Way higher upside than Zach Wilson. Even though Zach Wilson has some tremendous upside as well.
Yeah, I'll say that. But you know what? Here's where I really fault Shanahan. It's not for picking Jimmy over Trey, which I definitely don't agree with. It's that you put it in a position where you actually had to choose. If you had gotten rid of Jimmy 2 months ago, there would be no choice. It would be obvious. You wouldn't have this lingering veteran that fans love, that the team loved. None of that would be there. You could have made the decision to get rid of him and get rid of this problem before it started. Now you don't really have a choice but to go with what half the fans want and what a majority of this team wants at this point. I just think it was a bad decision to not see this playing out long term.
Agree. And, again, I'm sticking with it's not even a conspiracy there. This is reported by the best reporters. If he had taken Mac Jones,
he'd be starting.
And Garoppolo would be gone.
Yep.
Because that's what Shanahan wanted. And the fact that he didn't get that means that, to me, he never gave Trey a chance. His point, the reason the argument he was, I think, making to the organization was, I love Trey. He's great. I need to win today. I need to win right now. You guys are going to hold me accountable for this. Mac Jones is more ready right now to execute the offense I built for Jimmy than Trey is. And you know what? Kyle's right.
Yep.
Kyle's right about that. And that's his thing. He's usually right. But what's more important, Kyle? Being right or winning? And you know what? Mac's on the Patriots now. You didn't get him. You got Trey. And you know what? That's a good thing. That's a blessing. Make it work. But no, here he is over here trying to be like, see, I told you. Trey's not ready. Okay, well, you're past that now. Because the thing is, how many games are you going to lose early in this season proving a point, playing Jimmy? Because you know that Jimmy isn't good. That's why Trey's here.
Anyway. Yeah, the whole thing blows my mind. And again, we can talk about injuries. We know that all the injuries aside, Trey Lance is here because Jimmy frustrates the hell out of Shanahan. We see it all the time. He does not like that Jimmy's the quarterback. So why is he still the quarterback?
Because Trey wasn't his guy.
Right.
Mac is. And Trey will become his guy after he does this stupid thing. This thing with the 2 quarterback system so he can be the star and not either quarterback. And Trey will be the guy eventually. But I'm telling you, if Mac was a quarterback, he'd be the starting quarterback.
He'd be the starter. Yep.
And I have a problem with that, Kyle. Adjust. You're supposed to be an offensive guru. You should want to coach Trey. Like, system coaches want Mac Jones. Offensive gurus want Trey Lance. Bill Walsh. You think you'd want Mac Jones, Kyle? I'm talking to you right now. You think Bill Walsh would want Mac Jones? Absolutely not.
No.
He would want Trey Lance. You know why? Because he could make it work. Mike Holmgren developed. I want to talk about this. You were mentioning Brett Favre earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Brett Favre was going to be a freaking bust on the Falcons. He's one of the most gifted quarterbacks of all time, but you need a coach. You need a culture. He was going to die on the vine in Atlanta. They send him to Green Bay. He gets to link up with Mike Holmgren. Rest is history. I'm afraid. Don't be Atlanta, Kyle. Don't be that. Be Green Bay. Because I know there's a lot of coaches who can make this work. And I think you are one of them. But, dude, that's all I'm saying.
You have to be willing. You have to be willing.
You have to be willing. And right now, I haven't seen it. It's still early, but I haven't seen it. Shivnor says, Kyle can't drag his feet because he didn't get his precious toy. Buck up and morph Trey into the player you like through playing experience. That's it. Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what we're saying.
Yeah. I mean,
do you
think here's what I don't understand. He says if they had a chance to take Josh Allen, they would have. You've got your Josh Allen right here. What are we talking about?
This is him. Yes.
This is him.
Yes. Same weaknesses. Exactly. Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, Southside Tone says, I thought Kyle should have got Fields at 3. Fields would have been better under Shanahan. Lance is a little shaky now, but I'm sure he will get better. I still think Lance has a higher upside.
Yeah.
Fields was more ready week 1. I do think it's interesting that Shanahan wasn't interested in him at all. Why?
None.
Why?
Yeah.
He's good. I think Shanahan and his dad are they just don't like spread quarterbacks. If they can't see you under center doing play action, not drafting you. I'm just saying
they can't visualize it for whatever
visualize
reason.
It. And I think they have maybe they had a bad experience of getting a guy and projecting that he could do their scheme and him being like, I can't do this. I can't turn my back. So that's part of it. So why didn't they go after Mahomes, Watson? Well, they're spread offense quarterbacks.
I like Fields. I had no issue with Fields. I definitely would have taken Fields over Mac. There's no question about it. I just like Trey more. I have the whole time. So,
Grant, I thought on the night we drafted Trey, everyone said that he was a project. No one expected him to be ready. What has changed for you, everyone?
I never said he was a project.
Yeah, I don't think that mobile quarterbacks are projects. I think there are so many things you can do with mobile quarterbacks to succeed early. The reason that Tua struggled last year, not mobile. Not mobile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you can get outside the pocket, it's such a simple game at that point. Inside the pocket, very difficult. It's like I was talking about this earlier today. There's the phone booth game, and the space game. These guys, you get them in space, and there is nothing defenses can do. They're at Trey's mercy. So, I mean, he's a project in the sense that he's not going to be a great pocket passer until he's 28 or never. But there's so many. Look at Kyler. Look at Lamar. You can be an MVP early on in your career playing like this. So I don't buy that.
I think that early on that was definitely the narrative, but especially for us, once Coach McAvoy came into the picture and we were able to listen and figure out who he was as a person, and then we were able to actually put on all 22 film and watch that through multiple times. Jack was a big help there. That's when we really started to see it. Hey, this guy is not a project. He can start day one. What's interesting, though, is way before all that happened, I said that I thought Trey Lance and Shanahan would be the biggest disaster mix. And I kind of walked that back, but I was right in a sense. And I should have stuck with that, because it's not a disaster mix because Trey Lance isn't the right guy. It's a disaster mix because I don't know if that's who Shanahan wants to coach.
It's a good scheme fit, but Kyle has to want to coach him.
Yeah.
And right now, when I watch the way he calls plays in preseason for Trey, I'm like, that's the Mac Jones offense right there, dude. He's in the pocket 95% of the time. If that's what your plan was for Trey, you should have stuck to your guns and taken Mac, dude. I'm not impressed. You thought Mac was the best? Put your foot down. You're the man. Put your foot down. You're the expert. But no, you waffled. You went with your second choice, and now you're like, but I was still right. No, that's not the time anymore. You gave up. You let it go. Embrace it, man. Some of the best things in life are things you don't plan for, Kyle.
Right.
Go with it.
And that's exactly it. I actually don't have an issue the way that he played Trey Lance. I thought he did Trey Lance a service by putting him in those tough situations and making him learn. But that's only if you're going to be willing to start him once the regular season starts. And game 3 should have been a dress rehearsal for him to run all those things that they're actually going to run when the season started. That's the way that should have went.
Let me say something. Hey, Kyle, you want to keep Trey Lance in the pocket 95% of the time in preseason? It's got to be with the starters.
Yes.
Got to be with the starters. Yep. Otherwise, we all told you he was going to get hurt behind the second team offensive line. We told you that before the first preseason started. What happened? He got hurt behind the second team offensive line. I don't remember which guy it was who missed the block. Do you?
I don't remember who it was.
I
just know it was along the right.
It's some guy who's not on the team.
Okay.
Some guy who's on the practice squad or on some other team. So you trusted the future of your team and honestly, like the president of it too, behind the second team offensive line and said, execute. And you were like, oh, wow, he got hurt. That's on you, Kyle. I told you this was going to happen. Aaron says Harbaugh turned Alex Smith into a Pro Bowler. Harbaugh turned Kaepernick into a dual threat QB. What has Kyle done? He's a schemer, not a coach. Schemer. That's what Joker said to Two-Face. Schemer. You got these schemes.
He's the best offensive coordinator in the game. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to argue that. But show me he's a leader. Yeah, show me he's a leader.
I haven't seen it. Lance only needs to be slightly better than Jimmy Garoppolo, or
even.
Right. Yearwood says maybe Shanny handicapped Trey to what Jimmy does because Jimmy physically can't do what Trey naturally does. Every quarterback should be able to pass from the pocket to some basic NFL degree, not to defend Jim.
For sure.
I'm
get
not
what
even.
you're
I don't
saying.
feel that. I don't feel that.
I listen. I get what he's saying because here's the narrative: third down and long. Where are you going to have to make your money? You're going to have to make it in the pocket. This is
No, you're not.
what.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
Scramble.
but this is what a lot of people around the league say and think. This is the mentality.
Yeah.
This is Shanahan's mentality right now, and it's the wrong mentality. I agree with you.
Yeah. It's like 10 years ago in the NBA when they're like, you can't win a championship shooting threes. Wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
Right.
Wrong. Math. Statistics.
Because there was one team, the Phoenix Suns, that did it. They were the only team, and they didn't win. And so people are like, oh, you can't win that way. That's not true. It's just not true.
I guarantee if you could get sophisticated split stats, offense when the quarterback is throwing from inside the pocket to outside the pocket, I bet yards per attempt are higher outside the pocket. I bet interception percentage is lower. I bet touchdown percentage is higher. It's just there's fewer things defenses can do. And I wish
I'm going to dig it up. I'm going to find those stats.
I wish I could find the freaking because sometimes you see like splits about quarterbacks inside and outside the pocket, but you never can get the full database. I'd love to know. To me, it's like, oh, Steph Curry, good 3-point shooter, but he's going to have to work on his mid-range game. No, he won't. You don't want him shooting mid-range jumpers. You want him shooting threes. Oh, he's going to have to work on his pocket passing. I mean, so he can like throw a screen and a slant and basically keep you honest. That's all you want these guys to do is keep them honest in the pocket, but get them out as much as possible.
But his run game can keep you honest. Game?
Great.
His legs can keep you honest.
Thank you.
Okay, if Trey Lance is playing, do you believe that the 49ers would pass less and run more if Trey Lance is playing? Because I do. I mean, that's 4 or 5 more runs a game that you're going to get just by having Trey Lance in the game, which means you're not going to have to air it out near as much, and you're going to be probably more effective and more efficient as an offense. So why not play him? It just, I don't know, man. The whole thing doesn't make sense.
The last thing I would say is when you have a quarterback in the pocket in the NFL, when I'm watching, my attitude, what I think when I see a quarterback in the pocket, especially one who's inexperienced, is, oh shit. Shit. He's going to get hit. Then the other thing is when a quarterback gets out of the pocket, I'm thinking every defensive coordinator in the league who's trying to defend that is thinking, oh shit.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing I can do now. Let's just hold on. Hopefully this play doesn't go 8 seconds. I mean, as soon as he's out of the pocket, you're thinking, oh shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the oh shit principle, man.
It is.
When he's in the pocket, the offense is thinking, man, get the ball out of your hands now.
Yep.
But as soon as he breaks that pocket, you're like, here we go. It's all in our favor. The worst thing that could happen is he'll scramble for 10 yards. The worst thing is he'll scramble for 10 yards.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you, Rob. We got you. Niner by Nature says, why didn't Shanny have Trey under the center more in preseason? Dude, the whole thing was spread offense. It was like, did you want I'm telling you, man, it was the Mac Jones offense. He was proving a point. I have a problem with Kyle doing stuff like this, but it's what he does. He wants to prove points. Sean says, Grant, a while back, your dad said that he didn't think Kyle was a good decision maker. Do you think this is true and he's not cut out to be a head coach? Yeah, Kyle, prove me wrong. I love covering you. A lot of fun. But, dude, come on, man. Where's the leadership here?
There's a lot of things that Kyle does really well, and I definitely don't want to – I love Kyle being the head coach of this team. I really do. I think that he gets a free pass on things that he shouldn't get a free pass for, and there's a lot that he still has to prove. He still has to prove. And it's okay to hold him accountable without being a quote-unquote hater. I just think he needs to be held accountable, and that's all we're doing here. That's it.
No doubt. And I think he's definitely a valuable member of any coaching staff. Is he the front guy? Is he the lead guy? Don't know. I don't know. Salah is.
Yep.
I don't know if he's the same. Salah is. Rafi says, Trey's TD passes to Sanu came from shotgun 5 wide spread, makes reading coverages and blitzes easier. Fair. Yes. You know what makes throwing easier for Trey, though? Moving.
Yep.
Moving. When he's stationary, you can see him thinking. That's the way I put it. You can see the thought bubble. Okay, I'm supposed to have my hands like this. My feet are supposed to be like this. It's like the guy who's a terrible dancer, like 1 and 2 and look natural. Like, no, you're not looking natural. But as soon as you're rolling left, you're rolling right, it's gorgeous. It's breathtaking.
His passes had no wobble
No,
There was no accuracy issues every time he went mobile. That's rolling right or left. He was able to look very efficient in all of those situations. It didn't happen often, but go look at all those passes. They were on the money, they were well placed, and there was no wobble. So you tell me where he's most effective.
yeah, and there's a lot of quarterbacks like that too, man. There's a lot of quarterbacks like that too. All you got to do is get them in space. Get them in space. Trey Lance is going to be one of the most dangerous athletes in space in the NFL. It's
Yep.
going to be him, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields. Those four, the
Yep.
most dangerous quarterbacks in space. Your job as a coach is to get them there as many freaking times as you can. Don't tell me that a quarterback has to operate from the pocket. If that's what you're telling me, you should have drafted Mac Jones and you don't have him. Make it work.
Yep.
Make it work. It's like
Yep.
making Steph Curry get in the post and shoot hook shots. It's like, nah, man, that's not how we're going to do this. Gets me so worked up. In the wobble we trust. Also, have you mentioned your thoughts on Webster yet? They should have kept Webster. They don't have a punt return in this team right now. That's one I think
No.
they thought they would. They didn't really play him much in preseason. I think they were hiding him and they got burned.
Yeah, they did.
So, all right, let's move on. Was Trey Lance the right pick at number 3?
Yes, for me, the answer is a resounding yes. But I really have a feeling that there's a lot of 49er fans that are questioning this right now. And
Here's my question.
Yeah.
I don't know if the trade up to number 3 was necessary.
Okay.
If they really wanted Trey Lance by any means necessary, which I don't know, because Kyle has giving mixed messages here, then sure, get it. Because I like Trey Lance a lot, and I think once they got there, he was the right pick. But dude, he might have been there at 12. I don't know. If Fields went 11, you don't. I mean, Fields might have been higher on a lot of teams' boards. I don't know. So it's possible that they didn't need to make that trade, but they did. And once they got there, even though I was team Kyle Pitts, hell of a player, dude, I was saying this last night on Twitter. This kid, Trey Lance, has the highest upside I've ever seen from any quarterback ever. So, yeah, it's the right pick, man. Yes. Yes.
Let me ask you this. Would you, everything we know now, okay, would you have rather taken Mac Jones at 12 or traded all that capital to get Lance at 3?
Lance.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the coach, though. If I were John Lynch and I knew Kyle Shanahan didn't want Trey Lance, I wouldn't set up Trey Lance to fail like that. I'm not saying that Kyle won't come around, but you need total buy-in. Part of the reason that Patrick Mahomes worked out is because Andy Reid bought in and was like, this guy's going to be the greatest quarterback of all time, and I'm the perfect coach for him. Like maybe if he went to Chicago, it wouldn't happen, but his skill set, my scheme, my mentoring, he'll be great. And he was right.
Yeah.
Kyle, I don't even know if he feels that way about Trey Lance. Maybe he's like, I mean, I can make him a good runner, but I can't make him a better pocket pass. What can I do?
Right.
And if that's his attitude, then he wasn't the right pick at number 3, essentially. But you know what? If that's Kyle's attitude, then he's going to be history soon, and someone else will step up and take this job. That's what's really cool about the Niners situation right now. When they got Kyle, no one wanted this job.
Right.
They were lucky to get him. Now, if he messes around and it's not the situation he wants, not the quarterback he wants, we'll get someone, dude. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. You.
Yeah. But I do think he was the right pick at number 3. I think he's the most physically gifted quarterback I've ever seen. I mean, you compare him you got the comparison to Josh Allen. Allen can't run like him.
No.
Favre couldn't run like him. And I'm not saying he's going to be the greatest quarterback of all time. Of course, coaching matters. And a lot of things could happen. Injuries, all kind of things. But, most gifted quarterback I've ever seen. Kyle, you should be doing freaking cartwheels right now. This is good. This is good for you. He's
a ball of clay and he can be molded into whatever you want him to be. So make it happen.
The coach says specify free pass aspects you both see. Put your name on it. Don't throw stones and hide your hands, gentlemen. What exactly does Kyle get away with?
I'll tell you what he gets away with. 3 losing seasons in 4 years.
Right.
This team did not take a quarterback other than Beathard in the draft until this year.
Right.
They could have had Tom Brady. They decided not to go for Tom Brady, even though they knew Jimmy was not the answer.
Wasn't even interested in Mahomes.
Didn't exactly. Let's go. Actually, let's go all the way back. We'll blow this thing all the way back, Coach. Year 1, they wanted Kirk Cousins. That was the whole plan. A quarterback on another team is a soon-to-be free agent. That was their plan. So they don't even look at Mahomes. They don't even look at Watson. It's not even on their radar. So they pass over 2 generational talents there. Then they abandon their plan 10 weeks into season number 1 and go get Jimmy Garoppolo, who coach wasn't happy with, but he dealt with it. Then he doesn't like him so much, but he drafts CJ Beathard, overdrafts CJ Beathard, by the way, doesn't draft another quarterback the whole time until this year when they give up all their capital to move up to 3 to get his supposed guy who's now not starting. That's what I mean with he gets a free pass. The reason that this team did not win was because when Jimmy was out, they had to fall back to Beathard and Mullins. So you go from the 20th best quarterback or 23rd best quarterback in the league to the 70th or 80th best quarterback. And that's on you, Kyle, because you had no other options available. You did yourself no favors bringing another guy in.
Dude, this guy has a losing record. He's lost 2 Super Bowls. He traded up for a quarterback that he doesn't even think is ready. He traded up for a guy that he didn't even let compete. Meanwhile, Bill Belichick starting the guy that he drafted 15th. I mean, if anyone else did this, whose name was Mike Bananahan, if his name was Mike Bananahan and Kyle Bananahan, and he wasn't related to Mike Shanahan, he'd be out. But the fact that he's a legacy and the fact that he has a good system gives him a pass from all of his horrendous decisions, all of his terrible missteps as a leader. He has a good system. He's got a good name. We trust him. He's a legacy. His dad won a Super Bowl here. We're going to give him a pass. And you know what? Maybe he deserves some of a pass, but other guys don't get it. That's what we're saying. Other guys would have gotten fired in these circumstances.
You know, East Bay is going to Photoshop that. We're going to see Kyle and Mike as bananas here in the next hour.
Kyle Bananahan. Dylan Mountain says, your Brett Favre comment reminded me of the quarterback we should have picked up. Sam Darnold. Ooh, no. Similarly, no. Definitely not. No. I'm sorry, but no. I'm not a big Sam Darnold fan. Not at all. Maybe it's because I went to UCLA. I don't know. This guy says he was the right pick, just ended up with the wrong coach. Oh, I hate that. Jed, you might want to get that 4x6 index card ready of some names and some numbers that that they're ready. Don't call them yet, but have them in your desk available. Because I'm telling you, there's people that want to coach this kid. Even if Kyle, imagine, I want to coach Mac instead. Why? Because your system. That's all you got. You guys are funny. Right. Thanks, man. You're funny too. Jody says what the coach just said. Oh, snap. What'd he say? Oh, here he is. Talking about the draft less than 2 weeks away from the regular season is crazy. We already established Mac will be ready early. How soon we forget.
The thing is, Coach, so by the way, love Coach. He always tunes in. Great, very smart guy. Yeah. So I love his insight. But here's what I'll say. I said that if Mac Jones is ready after the minimal amount of games that he played, did not call a verbose offense as far as verbiage in the playbook, did not call his own audibles as near as frequently, and did not play under center much. If he could be ready, why not Trey? I thought Trey was ready week 1 the whole time. You can go 2-3 months back. I've been saying it the whole time. So I'm definitely not going to jump off that now. Trey is just as ready. Kyle, for whatever reason, deems that is not the case. And we'll see how it plays out, but he's stunning his growth. He is absolutely stunning his growth, at least in the short term, and I believe that.
Bono's coming through with the trivia. Says, name all 5 49ers who were first-round draft choices from Stanford. Ooh. Okay, I can do a couple. Hold on. Solomon Thomas.
Yeah.
Josh Garnett.
I'm not good at trivia.
Josh Garnett. Hold on, one more. Quaim Harris.
Quaim, yeah.
Quaim. That's all I got, though.
They were all trash.
That's all I got.
Every single one of them.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Who were the other 2?
I don't know. Bo's good. Kyle wanted Kirk Stat Pat or Cousins. Or
yes,
Matt.
he did. But why did they bail on that plan 10 games into season 1? That makes no sense.
Here's why Kyle likes Kirk and Mac. Because even when they play well, Kyle's a start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did well, but everyone knows they're kind of physically limited. And without my system, they probably look kind of average. With Trey or with quarterbacks like that who just kind of abandon the structure of the play and improv, he can't be the start. They're the star. And you know what? Let it go. You think Andy Reid's worried about that in Kansas City? Let it go. You made your name for yourself, man. First mistake was thinking Hoyer was a better option than Cap. Yeah, dude. There's a list of 50 bad decisions Kyle's made in the last 4 years. Easy.
Yep.
Hold on. Jody says, is there any culpability on John Lynch? Why total dump on Shaney? Who's running who? Kyle is coaching in the NFL.
Kyle hired him. Kyle
hired him.
Lynch is here because Kyle said so. So if Lynch is messing up, guess what? That's also on Kyle.
Get ready to hire Eric Bieniemy. I'm interested. Him, Daboll. There's a lot of guys with track records of developing quarterbacks. Answer: Solomon Thomas, Josh Garnett, Quayne Harris, Gene Washington, John Brody. Thank you. Yeah. I was a little bit before my time, but I forgot that John Brody went there. Gene Washington went. Yes. John Brody also was from Oakland. I think he went to Oakland Tech. Grant Cohn talking about legacy. Shake my head. Wow. Funny you forget to mention taking us to the Super Bowl as well. All your info is revisionist history. Monday morning, quarterback at its best. You guys are spoiled.
Hey, listen. Okay, let me ask you this, Coach.
I didn't lose the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. Listen.
I didn't lose it.
You're not going to burn Grant with that because he's not a fan. I am. So I feel the burn a little bit. I feel the sting. But here's what I'm going to say. This franchise was undefeated in the Super Bowl until the last 2 times that they went. Is getting there good enough? And let me also ask you this.
Doug Peterson won the freaking Super Bowl and got fired after 5 years, dude.
Yes.
What have you done for me lately? Oh, yes. You lost the Super Bowl 2 years ago? Whoop-de-freaking-do. Yep. Wow. That sets you apart.
Is he a better coach? Is he a better coach than Harbaugh? Because Harbaugh was NFC Championship, Super Bowl, NFC Championship. We haven't been anything close to that.
Maybe now. Harbaugh seems like he's
now. Yes, now. But I'm saying Harbaugh for the 49ers at that time.
His worst year was 8-8. No.
Right.
No. And he was really good at pumping up his quarterbacks. Kyle said Jed ought to just send Kyle and his fragile little ego down the road. He's the biggest thing holding the Niners back. Ooh, it's interesting to see Niner fans finally say stuff like that. I'm not there yet, but Jed, you need to be watching this situation carefully because you're not desperate. You were desperate in 2017. Kyle was a godsend. Now you got options. You know why, Trey?
I'll tell you what.
Maybe that's one of the reasons that Kyle and his dad are against these type of quarterbacks because if they can't work it out, there's 17 coaches waiting to do it. And I don't know how many coaches are waiting to coach Kirk freaking Cousins.
I'll tell you this right now. If you don't think Kyle has an ego, explain to me why Jalen Hurts is on this team right now.
Oh my God. Dude, Kyle has an ego. We all do, though.
100%.
All right. Top 2 hits and top 2 misses from the 49ers 53-man roster.
Okay. So top 2 hits is not carrying 3 quarterbacks. I thought that was absolutely genius. Yeah. There was way too much talent that could have been passed over had they kept Sudfeld. And guess what? He ended up on the practice squad. So good on you, Kyle. Mm-hmm. And the other one is Hasty over Gallman. Hasty is the more talented player. He's the younger player. And I felt like he came into camp way different this year physically. He's got a burst that Gallman just simply didn't have. And Gallman's a nice piece, don't get me wrong, but Hasty has really high upside. So for me, those were the 2 biggest hits that I saw on this 53-man roster.
Okay. Let me think of some more. 11 defensive linemen was cool. I like that. They all earned it. They could have kept 12, but they ended up bringing Darian Daniels on the practice squad. I'm surprised that people haven't found out about him. He looks good. So keeping the extra defensive lineman was cool.
They kind of did keep 12, though, because Hurst is going on IR. So technically they did kind of keep 12. Oh, actually in Willis, too. So really they kept 13.
So those are good. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Keeping 2 quarterbacks, clutch. That was smart.
That was it.
Anything else we're missing here? I think you hit it. I got some quibbles.
I would say,
I got some quibbles.
Yeah, I definitely have some quibbles. I actually have one big quibble, and then I'll let you take the quibbles after that.
Go ahead.
Is that cool? Yeah. All right, so the one big one for me is I thought there's a missed opportunity. They kept 6 cornerbacks, which most teams do, and they kept 4 safeties. I think they should have kept 5 safeties. I think Maiden should have been on this team.
Yeah.
And they should have kept 5 cornerbacks. And the reason for that is because I think Ward in a pinch can play nickel better than anybody else on this team other than K1. And Lenore can play inside or outside. So if they have an injury or multiple injuries, they can roll him down. Maiden or any of these other guys, Hafunga, can fill in and they would be just fine. So I felt like Ward at corner is a better option than, I don't know, a Dante Johnson or a Devontae Harris, anybody like that.
Yeah. Okay, there's a few. I mean, losing Simba Webster.
Yeah.
That's your returner. And I think they thought that he was going to make it through waivers and he didn't. And so now they don't have a returner. They don't have a punt returner for week 1. I mean, Ayuk's hurt. Travis Benjamin has a concussion, is on practice squad. God knows who's going to return punts for them week 1.
Ambry.
I know who it is. I'm not allowed to say, but God knows. Let's put it that way.
Did you say you know?
I know. I was at practice today. I'm not allowed to say, but I'm just saying God knows.
That's fine. Okay.
There's nothing to be excited about. 2 hits. So other ones. Okay. Elijah. Hold on. What was the dude's name? Sullivan? No, wait. Hold on. The guy who went to the Giants. Just a second. Let me get his name. He got picked up. His name is. Hold the phone. Hilliard. Justin Hilliard.
Yeah.
Okay, so Justin Hilliard led the Niners in tackles in preseason. He had 18. No one had more than 11. He looked pretty good. Number 58. He was a 5-star recruit from Ohio State who stayed there 6 years, came here. And then they just waived him, and he got signed to the 53-man roster by the Giants. And the Niners, meanwhile, kept Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. I'm sorry. I don't see it with Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. Nothing against Demetrius. What? What was that?
I don't either.
Yeah. So, I mean, you probably should.
They had 2 better options than Flanagan-Foles.
They traded Jonas Griffith. He looked promising.
Yep.
Just so you could keep Marcel Harris and freaking Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. That was a mistake. And then not keeping Webster, like, dude, you could have cut Jonas. You could have cut Jawan Jennings. Cut him last year. He made it through waivers. He was on your practice squad. He hasn't done anything since. Not much, but you kept him and you lost your punt returner. You could have had both. I'm not saying choose one over the other, but I think they could have had both had they done it differently. Anyway,
I agree with that.
And Jawan Jennings.
I actually don't have an issue with keeping Harris just because I really think it does help out special teams. But Flanagan-Foles should not be on this roster over either of the 2 aforementioned guys. Absolutely not.
I'm trying to think of other ones. I mean, I would have kept Gallman as a 5th tailback, but I understand you don't really need 5. And Jeff Wilson Jr. is coming back. Hold on, more. They kept Tom Compton, waived Dakota Shepley, who I mean I hadn't seen much from, but I guess the rest of the league liked him. He didn't clear waivers. He went to Seattle.
Yep.
And he's young.
Shocker.
He went to
Shocker. He went to Seattle.
It's like, I'm not saying Shepley's better than Compton, but if you had waived Compton and kept Shepley, you'd have both of them right now. No one wants Tom Compton. He's freaking Tom Compton. His name is Tom freaking Compton. That's his real name. So, you could have both, man. That's the other one. Those are the misses.
Luckily, they were able to get Brendel back because God knows what would have happened to that center position.
The coach says, when's the next call-in show? I'm ready to go toe. So I'm surprised you haven't called in yet. We do it every Saturday, Sunday. It'll be this weekend. I got you. I'm surprised. I'm waiting for you, man. I appreciate all the donations, but you can call in for free and you can give me the business. I'm waiting for the business, Coach. Tony says, is any of this Parag, Kyle Lynch not wanting to give up what they think Jimmy could be worth on the open market in a non-COVID year? Dude, it's Kyle. It's all Kyle. It's up to Kyle. Kyle needs to get on board right now. Come on, Kyle.
Who cares what Jimmy? Okay, this is like the argument that I always make. You know, people are always like, well, you can't trade within division because what if you make that other team bigger or better? It doesn't matter if you make that other team better. Does it make you better? Are you better because of the trade? Then who cares what it does to another team? It's ultimately all about you. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. You do not focus on the teams around you. You focus on yourself if you are a winning organization.
Last topic, and then we got to get Jesse out of here. I got to go. I got to drive home. I'm still in St. I'm at Levi's. He's going to be on 95.7 the game, which is that's a great choice by them. Good call. 95.7. We did this when the roster came, when the schedule came out. We did it in April. But now we know what the roster is. The first game is a week and a half away. Let's do it again. Let's go through the schedule quickly.
Yep.
and come up with a win-loss record.
Yep.
Okay, week 1 at Detroit, 10 a.m. What do you think?
That's a win.
It's a win. Should be a win. That Detroit defense is freaking horrendous. The worst. Okay, week 2, away at Philadelphia, 10 a.m.
That's a win.
That's a win. I agree. They're going to start 2-0, no matter who their quarterback is. Week 3, home against the Packers.
This is the one that I want to know because I said that the 49ers are going to have no problem with the Packers. It's a bad matchup. They cannot stop the run. Bakhtiari is now out. Their left tackle. Does that change your mind at all, Grant? Because I know that you were picking Green Bay.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, that would have been nail in their coffin against the Niners. They wouldn't have been able to handle Nick Bosa. I think the Niners could win this game, but again, I'm concerned about Trey Lance. I'm not certain that he's going to be playing the first few weeks of this season. If he did have a serious injury, they wouldn't tell us.
Yeah.
And I think I asked, like, basically Kyle and John both talked about it today, and they both were like, well, we hope, but we don't know, and we'll see. And if they don't have Trey Lance in the threat of the zone read, I'm going to say the Packers going to win this game. It's a loss.
Go 49ers.
Okay. So you got 3-0. I got 2-1. Week 4, home against the Seahawks.
49ers won that.
Taking the Seahawks.
Okay.
Because again, if Trey Lance was a starter, I'd pick the Niners. But I don't even know if he's going to play before the bye week. I don't know what's up with his finger. I'm picking Seattle. So you got him at 4-0. I got him at 2-2. Week 5, away, Arizona Cardinals.
Cardinals.
This is very serious. I know you have them at 4-1, and they could definitely go 4-1, but they could also go 2-3. And if Trey Lance is hurt, God help him. If he's healthy, but he isn't getting used, I wonder, Kyle, how many games are you going to drop before the bye week to prove yourself right, to prove that Mac should have been the starter or that Trey isn't ready? Because you could go 2-3. It's definitely within the realm of possibilities. I have you going 2-3. Jesse has you going 4-1. All right, bye week, week 7, home against the Colts.
This is the biggest question mark for me on this whole schedule. Initially, I had the 49ers losing this game. I still have the 49ers losing, and here's why. This might be Trey Lance's first start.
Yep.
And I think that's a bad thing to do. It's a primetime game. DeForest Buckner returning to Levi Stadium. It's a big pressure moment. I don't like it if Trey starts. I definitely don't like it if Jimmy starts. I'm going with the Colts to win that one.
It's a loss.
Even off of a bye week.
It's a loss. I got him at 2-4. You got him at 4-2. Week 8 in Chicago against the Bears.
49ers won that game.
Agree. Okay, so I got him at 4-3. You got him at
5-2.
I got him at what do I got him at?
You got him at
I got him at 3-4. You got him at 5-2.
Yeah.
I got him at 3-4. You got him at 5-2. Okay. Week 9, home against the Cardinals.
49ers won that game.
Me too. I agree. So I got him at 4-4. You got him at 6-2. Okay. Math is so hard. Counting is what I'm really bad at.
I'll keep track of me. You keep track of you.
Okay. Fair enough. I like that. Okay. Week 10, home against the Rams.
They're going to lose that game.
Ooh, interesting. I have him as a win, but it's not going to be an easy game. And I think by week 10, Trey Lance should be playing, and he should be starting by week 10. And I like the Niners with Trey Lance starting. So I'm going to say the win here.
Okay.
And what is that? I got him at 5-4.
6-3.
5-4. Okay. 5-4. Okay. Week 11 in Jacksonville.
That's a win.
Agree. So that's,
I'm at that game, so they got to win that game.
Agree. So that's 6-4,
7-3,
7-5. All right. Week 12, home against the Vikings.
That's a win.
Agree. So that's 7-4, 8-3.
7-4, 8-3.
7-4, 8-3. Week 13 in Seattle.
That's a loss.
Sunday night. That's a loss.
So you think they're going to lose to Seattle twice this year?
I do. And not because I think Seattle's so much better, but that first one, week 4, if they don't have Trey Lance, they're not going to win. I feel that strongly about Trey Lance. He's not the future. He's now. And he needs to be playing at least half these games for the Niners to win. That's a tough game, week 4. He better be playing. And I don't know what to expect from Trey Lance. I don't know. So I reserve the right. If he plays, they can win. But I'm saying no. Okay. Week 13, away against Seattle, we said loss, right?
Yep.
Okay. Week 14, away against the Bengals.
That's a win.
That's a win. Week 15, home against the Falcons.
That's a win.
Week 16, Thursday night in Tennessee.
That's a loss.
That's a loss. Week 17, home against the Texans.
That's a win.
Week 18, away against the Rams.
That's a win.
I have them as a loss. So I have them at 10-7.
I have them at 12-5.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think that's a good range. 10-7. I had them at 11-6 when the schedule came out. And then seeing how Kyle Shanahan never let Trey Lance compete, seeing how I don't know when he's going to make his regular season debut. I'm docking him one game, and I'm taking him. I originally had them beating Seattle week 4. Now I'm changing that one. And if Trey Lance comes back strong, I'll go back again. But I'm kind of teetering back and forth on 10 or 11 wins.
That's not good, though. They're probably not making the playoffs at that record just because they would have 2 losses to the Rams in that scenario and 2 losses to the Seahawks in your scenario.
True. That's true. That is true. Well, Jesse, it's been a great show. You got to go get ready for some of that 95.7 action. I got to get on the road. So thank you, everyone, for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Jesse, knock 'em dead.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right.